What's up, everybody? And today we are going to be discussing MrBallen and this recent podcast he put out. It was like beginning of this month. The podcast it went out. When was it? 3 weeks ago it came out, and he said something in the podcast that kind of I think shocked a few people. And in fact, let me pull up the screen real quick. This is the interview. It's the Iced Coffee Hour. They do some good interviews. There's a lot of like business stuff on there if that's what you're into. It's a pretty cool podcast. You should check that out if you haven't already. It wasn't actually this that caught my eye because I don't listen to this podcast, although I'm probably going to listen to it from here on out. It was Jameson's Travels, which if you watch my channel, I'm sure you've watched some of his. We've interacted with each other in the past. And then also Nikki MGTV, which, same again, if you probably watch my stuff, you probably watch some of his stuff. And I've interacted briefly with him in the past as well. And basically, they flagged this up online, and I saw it, and some people sent me the link saying, "Have you heard what MrBallen said about the Navy SEAL community and how Nikki said in his video in his title, they've basically exiled him." Now, I've got part of the podcast up where he kind of talks about it, and I just wanted to listen to this a little bit with you guys and discuss my thoughts on it because I do have a lot of thoughts on it as well. So let's just quickly listen to this little bit.
Talking about being a SEAL, I thought that I wasn't crossing any lines, but at the same time, I knew that it was like, you're making lots of enemies. And I remember when I started getting messages from people that I served with, like directly, like literally was laying behind a wall, taking incoming fire with this person, and they're sending me messages that are not anonymous. They're like, "Fuck you. Don't ever fucking say that shit online again. You're disowned from the community."
No.
Yeah, and so it was like heartbreaking. So you want to talk about like the humbling moment of when I got my ass kicked in high school? It was nothing compared to like the barrage of hate that I would get nearly every day.
What didn't they like? Because I would see it as an outsider and think this.
So let me pause it here and have a quick talk about this, right? So he's talking about how once he started to get bigger on social media, and I've followed MrBallen for a long time. I'm a big fan of his stuff. He's commented on some, like I've reacted to some of his videos. He's commented on some of them. We kind of are aware of each other, and I understand what's going on here. He was posting these videos, and the community kind of kicked back onto him. Now, I'm sure if you've watched my videos in the past about my relationship with the Royal Marines, you'll know that it's always been a bit of a shaky one, right? You can probably see since this reboot of the channel, I haven't used Royal Marine Reacts in the videos or anything like that. A lot of people who approach me about my YouTube from the Royal Marines who I've met personally are kind of positive about it. They're really impressed with what I've done. They're really happy for me and blah, blah, blah. But you have to remember as well, I recorded a video a while back about how I got bullied in the Royal Marines, and it really was detrimental to my mental health. It's almost as if I worked really hard and got this Green Beret, and then I was shat on by this corporal, and nobody did anything. Nobody really cared. Everyone brushed it under the rug, and no one gave a shit about me. They were just like, whatever, leave. We don't really care about you. And I did nothing. I literally did nothing wrong. And you can go and watch that video if you want. So when I started making videos, I was very self-conscious of them people, worrying that and it's so stupid. I earned a Green Beret as a teenager, right? I did all the tests they did. Like I'm well aware now because I've gone through all this and I've kind of like journaled about it and thought about it that I am more than capable enough to use the title of Royal Marines because I earned it, right? And we're all aware of that. Now, MrBallen's situation is that he is a successful member of the SEALs, right? And he started making content and they hated it. Now, I wanted to address this because I understand the culture that he's talking about. If you watch the podcast, he talks about how the SEAL community don't like people who self-promote and don't like internet stuff. Like they're not really, you do get the exceptions, but they don't really like that push of people doing online content. And it's so bizarre. It wasn't back in the day, right? It was so bizarre. And you do get the exceptions. He mentions the exceptions for the SEALs as well. Obviously, you've got people like David Goggins and a bunch of other people. And with the Royal Marines, it's similar, right? You have these exceptions of people who have done gone into Special Forces and have done the SAS Who Dares Wins on TV, and they self-promote and all that lot. But I remember my initial interaction with doing online content, and I would get hate messages. Like, this is a very common thing, and people in the Royal Marines don't like you talking about it, don't like, especially if you're putting it out on the internet to benefit yourself in any way, which at the end of the day, I was making the videos to build a community and build a business, right? So it did benefit me. They hate it. They absolutely hate it. I remember seeing, I had a company that made a Facebook page for me and posted videos, and I think it was Gameology posted some of my videos on their website, and I remember seeing a thread of some former Royals who I know who were like, this guy's a shit bloke, he shouldn't be around, blah, 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 all this other stuff. That was absolutely dreadful stuff, and it hurts. Like, it really hurts, because just like MrBallen, he's a SEAL. Like, he's done it, right? Just like me. I'm a Royal Marine. I've earned that Green Beret, but it hurts. It fucking hurts. And when I saw that it was happening to MrBallen, it made me, a lot of people think that a lot of things that happen to them only happen to them, but it makes you realize that this isn't a isolated incident, right? I've spoke to other Royals who do online content who have experienced some stuff like I have, pushback and all that lot, and it's not pleasant. It's really not pleasant. And I'm proud of how far MrBallen's gone. He doesn't flaunt the fact that he's a Navy SEAL. I don't anymore use the Royal Marine stuff in my titles anymore, because I don't want that. It's not that I don't want the association, it's that I don't want that to be the driving factor of me doing well on YouTube anymore. And I'm beyond that now. I've developed more as a person, and I'm a different person now. I left 11 years ago, nearly 10 years ago I left, and it's not who I am anymore. So I thought I'd make the video because I understand what he's saying. I understand where he's coming from, and I understand how he's getting hate for it. I think it's only just starting to become apparent that people can make themselves a business online if you're ex-military. But even still, the stigma around it is incredibly toxic. Now, obviously, I can only talk for the Royal Marines. The SEALs might be different. The US military in general might be different, because there is a lot of US military members who are on YouTube. But when I started, I remember there being an officer who did some YouTube videos a long time ago, but it was mostly like how to pass your PRMC, how to do press-ups, how to do this. It wasn't like gaming content and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure I was the first Royal Marine to do that, and I got a lot of pushback for it. But obviously, times are changing, and people are seeing that, and there are more members of both the Royal Marines and SEALs and stuff like that making content now, which is really nice to see. But I thought I'd address this, and I thought it'd be important to talk about, because there is a toxic behavior in the military, and this is why I don't want my kids to go into the military, because there is an incredibly toxic environment in the military where it's if you're not one of them, then you're not them at all. Even if you've done all the work, you can put one foot in a different direction and do a different thing in your life, and that's it. You're shunned, and it's the worst. I don't know how much he says. Let me see if there's anything else about it.
Is in a way inspirational for people who might want to get into this. A lot of people would see your story and think, this is a career that I've never considered before, but I think I have what it takes. I want to be able to serve. To me, it comes off as something that's more so positive, is like sharing these experiences in such a way that can inspire other people.
So objectively, that's all true. And I deleted virtually all of this stuff. If you were to go back and look at all of it, I would probably cringe reading it, but you would not read any of them and be like, I don't get it. You wouldn't read it and be like, oh yeah, I see that. Because objectively, all I'm doing is sharing real experiences that are my own. I never acted like.
So I think that's an important point that they said there, that surely he's doing nothing but benefiting the SEALs, really, because people are looking at his stuff and be like, this is an option for my life. And even post-SEALs, they're looking at him and being like, oh my God, YouTube is an option. And all he's doing is, objectively, is showing positivity. And it's like, Yes, you can be in the SEALs. He's done it. Yes, you can make a career after the SEALs if you want, because he's done it. And I remember when I first started, there had been an ungodly amount of young lads, sorry, I can't talk, who messaged me saying, I'm 16, I'm 17, I'm 20, I'm 27, whatever. I want to join the Royal Marines. What should I? The amount of people that messaged me. I'm not saying that I made a lot of people join the Royal Marines. I'm not saying that, but I definitely think that there's a big influence there that a lot of people don't see, right? And then after the Royal Marines, I've made a business on YouTube, and that is also an option for other Royal Marines, right? So I think let me pull my head up. We don't have to watch anymore. I think the moral of this is that a lot of people don't like change. A lot of people don't like things that are out of the norm, especially in the military. If you do something that's out of line in the military and something different, you will get a lot of hate, but you will not grow as a individual or as a member of that team and grow that association with a certain military branch if you don't do something that other people haven't done. So I have an ungodly amount of respect for MrBallen. I think he's created something amazing. I really do. And the fact that he's getting hate from them other SEALs, there's a lot of jealousy there, obviously. But secondly, I think it shows how insecure and immature them SEALs that gave him hate are. That's all I'm going to say. If you have any feedback or any thoughts on it, let me know in the comments. I'm not going to promote anything on this because it's a bit more of a touchy subject in my opinion. So other than that, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know in the comments. We will have a discussion and we will talk about it more. If you want to know more about my experiences as the Royal Marines, I have a video where I talked about what happened to me in the Royal Marines and why I don't like to promote the Royal Marines as much as I used to. And go ahead and check that out if you want. But we can have a discussion in the comments about all this if you want. Other than that, I love you all, and I will see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.